Welcome to the Golden Wealth and Crypto, where we decode the absolute realities of global wealth. As we navigate through the turbulent financial waters of this very year, it is becoming terrifyingly clear that the second half of 2026 will be recorded as a monumental historical turning point. We are currently witnessing an unprecedented and ruthless acceleration in the division of global wealth. For decades, the traditional middle class relied on diligent savings, steady wages, and conventional real estate to secure a comfortable and secure retirement. Yet today, those very foundational strategies are crumbling under the heavy weight of silent inflation and systemic currency devaluation. The hard-earned capital of millions is quietly evaporating, while a select few are rapidly expanding their financial empires. The foundational rules of global money have irrevocably changed. This is not a temporary market fluctuation or a cyclical recession that will simply correct itself over time. It is a permanent structural paradigm shift designed to reallocate global assets on a massive scale. If you are 50 or older and watching your traditional retirement portfolio struggle to outpace the real cost of living, you are experiencing the leading edge of this great wealth transfer. The psychological burden of realizing that conventional financial wisdom no longer protects your legacy is heavy and entirely valid. You were taught to play by a set of rules that the global financial elite abandoned years ago. Now, as we approach the critical threshold of late 2026, the gap between the middle class and the ultra-wealthy is solidifying into an insurmountable fortress. Time is your most critical asset right now. To understand this widening divide, we must look objectively at the macroeconomic data and institutional behaviors shaping our reality. Major global financial institutions and central banks are no longer merely experimenting with blockchain technology and digital assets. They are actively integrating them into the core infrastructure of global settlements. According to recent institutional market reports, billions of dollars are quietly flowing out of traditional fiat holdings and into highly scarce digital assets and tokenized equities. This massive institutional accumulation is happening completely out of sight from the average retail investor. The elite are essentially building a digital financial lifeboat while the general public is left arranging deck chairs on a sinking fiat currency ship. This is the stark reality of modern asset management. However, simply recognizing the rise of cryptocurrencies and blockchain infrastructure is not enough to secure your financial future. The new trap lies in the overwhelming noise and speculative frenzy surrounding the digital asset space. Many retail investors, driven by fear of missing out, fall victim to highly volatile, unverified digital tokens and predatory investment schemes. They abandon sound risk management in a desperate attempt to catch up. This reckless approach is exactly how the middle class is permanently separated from their capital. The global elite do not gamble with their wealth. They strategically allocate capital into foundational decentralized protocols and regulated digital asset vehicles that offer asymmetric upside with meticulously calculated downside protection. Speculation is the enemy of true legacy preservation. The window of opportunity to position yourself on the correct side of this historic wealth divide is closing with terrifying speed. By the end of 2026, the regulatory frameworks and institutional gateways for digital assets will be fully cemented, locking out the latecomers from the most significant phase of global wealth generation. Once the structural macroeconomic transition is complete, the new digital elite will possess an overwhelming economic advantage that cannot be replicated. You are standing at the exact moment where passive observation becomes a fatal financial error. The choice is no longer between adopting digital assets or ignoring them. The choice is whether you will be a beneficiary of this wealth transfer or a victim of it. The ultimate blueprint for securing your legacy requires decisive action. Navigating this complex digital landscape requires a sophisticated high-end mindset focused on long-term preservation rather than short-term dopamine hits. The first step in this cinematic financial solution is cognitive recalibration. You must entirely decouple your understanding of money from traditional inflationary fiat systems. True wealth in the late 2026 paradigm is defined by absolute digital scarcity and network decentralization. Begin by allocating a highly conservative, carefully calculated percentage of your overall portfolio into apex digital assets like Bitcoin. Treat this allocation not as a speculative trade but as a permanent hedge against the systemic debasement of centralized currencies. This is about building an unbreakable digital vault for your family legacy that transcends borders and political instabilities. Furthermore, securing your wealth in the digital age demands institutional-grade security practices. Do not leave your digital assets on centralized exchanges which are highly vulnerable to counterparty risks and regulatory crackdowns. You must master the art of self-custody utilizing premium hardware wallets stored in physically secure environments. This act of taking absolute sovereign control over your bearer assets is the ultimate expression of financial independence. It ensures that your wealth cannot be frozen, confiscated, or debased by any central authority. By combining the undeniable scarcity of top-tier digital networks with flawless self-custody protocols, you are effectively elevating your financial status from a vulnerable participant in the traditional system to a sovereign entity operating within the new global digital framework. Equally critical is the continuous education and refinement of your investment thesis. The blockchain space evolves at a breakneck pace, and relying on outdated information is a severe liability. Cultivate a highly curated information diet. Discard the sensationalized media headlines and focus exclusively on deep technical analysis, macroeconomic reports, and on-chain data metrics. Surround yourself with a network of sophisticated, forward-thinking individuals who understand the gravity of the 2026 economic shift. By operating with the disciplined mindset of a premier institutional fund manager, you insulate yourself from emotional market volatility. Your portfolio becomes a carefully orchestrated symphony of traditional safe havens and high-growth digital infrastructure, ensuring robust performance regardless of macroeconomic weather. Taking these decisive steps will profoundly transform your relationship with wealth and the future. The anxiety that once plagued your sleepless nights will be replaced by a profound sense of clarity and absolute control. You are no longer a passive passenger on a sinking economic vessel but the capable captain of a highly advanced financial dreadnought. You will look at the shifting global markets not with fear but with the calm confidence of someone who has preemptively secured their position. The legacy you leave behind will not be measured merely in depreciating fiat currency, but in pristine, immutable digital assets that will provide for your lineage for generations to come. This is the true essence of golden peace in the modern financial era. You have the wisdom, the experience, and now the definitive strategy to overcome this massive transition. As we finalize this comprehensive briefing, remember that the great wealth transfer of 2026 is an unprecedented opportunity disguised as a global crisis. The middle class may be facing insurmountable challenges, but you have chosen the path of the enlightened elite. You have chosen to adapt, to evolve, and to conquer the new digital financial frontier. We at the Golden Insight are deeply committed to walking alongside you, providing the highest caliber of macroeconomic intelligence and strategic foresight. Do not let the fleeting noise of the world distract you from building your unbreakable empire. If you found this strategic briefing valuable, please subscribe to our channel and share this knowledge with those you deeply care about. Stay resilient, stay incredibly informed, and meticulously protect your magnificent golden legacy.